Hey everybody, my name is Emily and welcome to yoga. For today's class, I would recommend grabbing yourself a throw-sized blanket and also yoga blocks. However, if you don't have those props or you prefer to practice without them, that is totally fine. If you need to go grab those or any other additional props you may want for class, please pause this video. Otherwise, let's go ahead and begin. Take a comfortable seat and shift so that you are grounding down through your sit bones. Inhale to lift tall, roll your shoulders back onto your back, and then on your next exhale, allow your eyes to close. Begin to tune into your physical sensations. Notice where your body touches the floor or where you can feel your clothes on your skin. Notice perhaps the temperature of the room or maybe a breeze in the air. Then begin to shift your attention to your breath, noticing the physical sensations of your breath. How does your body move on its inhale? How does it contract on its exhale? Then on your next inhale, notice how your body feels when it breathes. Notice how it makes you feel to inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, at the top, allow yourself to take a pause, holding your breath. Then see if you can inhale deeper. Exhale to release. And then once more, inhale, pause, inhale more, and release. Continue with this breath, inhaling, holding, then inhaling more air into your lungs, and release. Then release this breath, tuning back into your natural rhythm of your inhale and your exhale. Let's bring our hands together at our hearts. And inhale to lift taller through your chest. Flaws are transformed by love and acceptance. Today, I choose to honor my beauty, my strength, and my uniqueness. On your exhale, bow your head towards your hands, sealing in this intention. And then go ahead and release your hands back down to your knees and open your eyes. Start to nod your head, keeping your shoulders engaged onto your back. And shake your head no. next time you bring your gaze over your right shoulder, tuck your chin or start to nod your head towards the right side of the room. Tuck your chin towards your shoulder. Take your right hand to the back of your head. Your left hand reaches out to the side and then back to the back corner of your mat. Take a big breath, guiding your inhales into your neck. Then release the back of your head and come back into center. Take your gaze over your left shoulder and start to nod towards the left side of the room. Tuck your chin towards your shoulder. Take your left hand to the back of your head and then reach your right hand out to the side and back. Inhaling and guiding your breath into your neck. Then release the back of your head and bring your gaze back into center. If you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. Coming to the opposite cross, we are opening up our hips equally on both sides. Then shift once more so that you're grounding down through those sit bones. Make fists with your hands and take your hands to your low back and press down into your tops of your glutes. Then from there, you're going to roll your shoulders onto your back and inhale to lift tall through your chest, taking your gaze slightly up, coming into this little bit of a back bend. Reach your elbows towards one another. And release. Take your hands to your shoulder or your knees and start to roll your shoulders back. And roll your shoulders forward. Take your right fingertips to the floor just outside your knee, and then take your left hand to your hip. Open your chest to the left side, and then from there maybe walk your hands out a little bit farther. Continue to press down on this left hip and reach your arm up. Maybe lean to the side, keeping your chest open. Inhale, rise back into center. Take your left fingertips to the floor just outside your knee, and then open your chest to the right side. Then from there you can inhale your arm up over your head, maybe lean a little deeper. Continue to press down through that right hip. And inhale to rise. Take your hands to your knees and re-engage your shoulders onto your back. And then from there, you're going to do gentle twists, tick-tocking to the left and to the right. Twisting at your rib cage. You're not going very deeply into these. We're going to do some wrist warm-ups before we move on to hands and knees. So if your legs are getting tired here, you can move and shift however you'd like. But go ahead, you're going to take your hands out in front of you and you're going to show off your fingernails. So your fingernails are pointing towards the front, your thumbs are pointing up. Then from there, you're going to curl your fingers in, wrap your thumbs around, and make fists. Now you're going to open your fingers to sock puppets, bear claws, and scary high five. Fingernails, fists, sock puppets, bear claw, scary high five. fingernails, fists, sock puppets, bear claws, scary 5-5. So you can do these at any time for a break when you're sitting at your desk or to warm up your wrists. Just go through all of them as fast as you can. All right, let's move to hands and knees. If you'd like to support yourself, you can leave your blanket underneath them. Since I have 2 mats, I'm going to put my blanket off to the side. And then start to set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Engage your shoulders onto your back and then pull your elbows in so your elbow pits are pointing towards the front of your mat. Then from there, tone your low belly. On your inhale, you're going to take your right foot back, your left hand forward. Exhale to release, then inhale, switch sides. Opposite arm and leg lifts. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to release. And if this is too intense for you, you can always just do the legs or just do the arms. So you decide and modify to your needs. Lots of core work here. Let's do one more on each side. Then meet me back into center. Allow your belly to drop down towards the floor. Take your gaze up. Exhale, press your spine towards your ceiling. Move through a couple rounds of your cat and cow. Then start to press your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands out in front of you and come down into whichever version of child's pose feels right for you today. See if you can bring your forehead to rest on the floor or on a block, and take some deep breaths. Inhale, work your way back up into hands and knees. We're going to do opposite arm and leg lifts again, but this time we're going to fan out to the sides. So listen to your body and modify to your needs. You're going to inhale, reach opposite arm and leg. Exhale to open to the side. Inhale back into center and release. Inhale, exhale, inhale back into center and release. Good job, you guys. Lots of core work here. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale, exhale to fan to the side, and inhale to come back into center. Exhale to release both hands and knees. You're going to drop your forearms down to the floor, bringing your elbows to directly underneath your shoulders. Then press your palms into the ground and make sure that your forearms are parallel with one another. Then, from there, you're going to keep your arms stationary as we do our scapula push-ups. So on your inhale, you're going to allow your belly and chest to collapse towards the floor. Exhale, you're going to engage low belly, low ribs, and then engage the muscles of your rhomboids, the muscles between your shoulder blades, to bring your body back into the back plane of your body. Inhaling to release, exhaling to engage. One more. Then press back up into hands and knees. Set your wrists directly underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes And press your hips back into your downward facing dog. In your down dog, pedal out your legs by bending one knee at a time. Then start to walk towards your hands, coming into your forward fold. And you can have blocks here if you'd like. Inhale up to half forward fold. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, take your arms wide and reach up overhead. Exhale your hands to heart center. Look down at your feet and make sure that your feet are hip distance apart and parallel with one another. Pick up your toes, then reroot them down on the ground. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Let's take our hands together at Anjali Mudra and close your eyes for a moment if that feels comfortable for you. Take a deep inhale and a slow exhale. Inhale your arms up, overhead. Exhale to your sides. Inhale, arms up overhead. You're going to start to press your hips back, coming down into your chair pose. In your chair pose, you're rotating your inner thighs towards one another, reaching your sit bones back behind you, bringing your weight into the back plane of your body so that your knees are not coming over your toes. You can have your arms here if you'd like, or if that's too intense on your shoulders, you can be here or even here. And tone your low belly. Lift tall through your chest. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, come up to half forward fold. Reach through your sit bones back behind you. Exhale, fold over your legs. From there, start to pedal out your feet by bending one knee at a time, allowing that movement and shift to happen in your hips. You don't need to be taking your heel off the floor here. Just bending one knee at a time. Then inhale, back up to half forward fold. Exhale, plant your hands, move your blocks aside. Step back into your downward facing dog. In your down dog, allow your hips to sway to one side and over to the other. Getting a nice side body stretch here. And then go ahead and release your knees back down to the floor and start to set yourself up with your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Re-engage your shoulders onto your back, tone your low belly. Then you're going to drop down once more, bringing your elbow to the floor. And if you would like some additional support here, you can always grab your blocks. Bring both of your blocks together, and then you can frame the corners of your blocks with your hands so that you're pressing your hands into your blocks. This is going to make sure that you don't start to turn and rotate your forearms, your wrists in. So feel free to use your blocks as a support here if you'd like. Press down into your palms, down into your forearms. You're going to tone your low belly and tuck your toes. You're going to lift one knee at a time and then the other, coming back into your dolphin pose. And in your dolphin pose, if you haven't done this for a while, you might have really bent knees. That's totally fine. Or maybe you're coming all the way up. You decide what's comfortable for you. And if anything becomes uncomfortable, you can always come out of it and then come back into it. Start to walk your toes back, coming into your dolphin plank. And in your dolphin plank, start to dip your hips. You decide if you're just holding your dolphin pose. You can go back to that. Ooh, lots of core work here. One more on each side. Good job. Then start to walk yourself back into your dolphin. Drop one knee at a time. And take your hips back towards your heels. Coming to child's pose. Inhale. Come back up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Take your hips back into down dog. Start to walk towards the front of your mat. And inhale up to half forward fold. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale. Take a big bend to your knees, your arms wide, and reach up. Exhale your hands to heart center. All right, so grab your folded blanket and fold it so that it's a little bit of a thicker fold. Then stand in front of your blanket. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale up to half forward fold. And then exhale, allow your body to hang over your legs. Take your hands to the right and walk yourself over to the left, swaying your upper body, getting a nice side body stretch. Then meet me back into center and start to walk your feet out so that they are wider than hip distance. And maybe you bring your heels to rest up on your blanket. Then from there, on your next exhale, you're going to slowly start to lower down into your squat pose. And if you need some additional support here, you can always come down onto a block or a cushion, or you always have the option of doing a froggy variation with your feet closer together, your heels lifted, and resting on your heels. Wherever you are at in your garland pose, start to maybe see if you can work your hands to prayer position. You can be resting your elbows on your knees, or if you want to work on opening up your hips and you feel comfortable doing that, you can bring your elbows to the insides of your knees and then find some resistance there of your elbows, your legs pressing into your arms, and your arms pressing into your legs. Take some deep belly breaths. Then start to work your hands out in front of you towards the floor, You're going to gently press back up, coming into your forward fold. Use your blocks here if you like. And heel toe your feet back into center. You can come off your block. Inhale up to half forward fold and reach your sit bones back behind you. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, take a bend to your knees, your arms wide. Reach up overhead. Exhale your hands to heart center. I'm going to go ahead and move my blanket to the side and come back to the side of this mat. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale to half. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into your downward facing dog pose. Go ahead and release your knees down to the floor and press your hips back towards your heels, coming into child's pose. Inhale, come to a seated position, then allow your hips to go to one side, take your feet to the other, and bring your footprints, your feet out in front of you. Extend your legs long. And that doesn't mean that they have to be straight. You always want to bend in your knees here. And then shift so that you're grounding down through your sit bones. Flex your feet and reach your toes towards your shins. Take your hands at either sides of your hips and press down into the ground to lift tall. From there, maybe work your hands towards your knees or towards your shins. See if you can start to fold over your legs, keeping your low back long. If you can bring your hands to your toes, maybe you walk your legs a little farther out. Inch your heels farther away from you. Or you may be in a pose more like this. That's totally fine. Inhale, come back up. Then take your feet to cobblers. Press your footprints in towards one another and allow your knees to open to the side. Shift once more through your sit bones. Take your hands to the floor at your hips and inhale to lift tall. Then from there, take your hands maybe to your shins or to the floor in front of you and start to fold over your legs. Again, trying to keep your low back long here. Inhale, come back up into center. Bring your knees back towards one another. Then you're going to start to tilt back so that you're coming to balance in between your tailbone and your sit bones. And then from there you can decide if you're going to lift one leg, two legs. Maybe you take your hands to gratitude, or maybe you go for the full boat pose. Go ahead and release one leg at a time. Take your feet back into cobbler's pose. Inhale to lift tall. Bring your knees back into center. You're going to take your right foot and bring it as a base right in front of you. Or if this is too intense on your knee, you can always keep your leg extended out in front like this. but bring your leg to support out in front of you, and then with your left foot either on the outside of your knee, or you can take it and cross it to the other side. Lift up tall through your spine. On your exhale, you're going to twist towards your raised knee. Inhale and come back into center, and switch the cross of your legs. Maybe this side you're like this instead. Just listen to how your body's feeling. Inhale to lift tall, and exhale to twist towards your bent, raised knee. Then inhale back into center. Uncross your legs. And then start to make your way back all the way onto your backs. Bend your knees and bring your knees into your chest and give them a good squeeze. Start to rock side to side. Then come back into center. Allow your knees to open to the sides, and then take your footprints up towards the ceiling. In your happy baby pose, you can have your hands at the backs of your legs, on your calves, your ankles, or your feet. Wherever you are, reach your knees down towards the floor behind you, and then tilt your sit bones or tilt your pelvis so that your tailbone is drawn down towards the floor. Release your footprints towards one another, and then drop your feet to the floor. Heel toe your toes just slightly wider than your mat, and then drop your knees to the left and to the right. Bring your feet back into center. Then extend your legs one at a time along the floor. And if you know you like to set yourself up a specific way for Shavasana, please feel free to do so. And start to allow yourself to find some stillness. Begin to tune back into your breath, noticing if there's any differences now versus the beginning of class. Now release any focus on your breath and allow your mind to be completely free. begin to take a deeper breath. Find some gentle movement in your fingers and in your toes. And take your arms overhead in a nice full body stretch. Then bend your knees and roll over to either side. At your side, bring your belly close to the floor and feel the support that the earth provides us. On your next inhale, gently press into the ground to come back up to a seated position. And in seated, shift once more, grounding down through your sit bones. Inhale to lift tall through your chest. And let's bring our hands together at our hearts and close our eyes. I accept myself. I accept my past and my present. I know I'm creating an amazing future. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.